When they say water is whiskey, you won't drink that nasty stuff.
How's it going? Hopefully you're having a good day. Whiskey and I were struggling over here today. A little bit more now than normal, than most times. And got a lot on our mind, important stuff. And we could use some help. And you could help us, right? We could use your help. And it won't cost you anything to do so. But we'll get to that, right? We got different subjects we've been wanting to get some videos out about, especially there's subjects hitting hard with all of us here in America and around the world. Comes to AI and surveillance, flock cameras, stuff like that, data centers. And I want to hit on some of these subjects, not because they've been currently a hot topic, because I was talking about these things before then, right? As well as others. But I want to hit on these topics because they have come to home, right? They're hitting close to home. They're trying to settle right in our own hometowns. Everywhere you look, Ohio is being flooded with them. You know, right here in Northwest Ohio, we have some warrants out for different places here in Northwest Ohio where flock cameras have been taken down, right? Warrants out, and they'll post pictures of somebody, you know, whoever they caught in the act. Have you seen this person wanted, right? All this and that, because they cut down the flock cameras. And meanwhile, it should be the other way around, right? We should be giving these people a medal, and instead we should be circulating pictures of the people putting the cameras up and issuing warrants for them. They are the ones violating our constitutional rights for every one of us, right? They are the criminals, the ones putting them up, not the ones taking them down, right? But we'll save that subject for another time. Today we're just going to talk about what's going on, right? We're trying to get somewhere, and we ain't doing such a great job here lately. And we've been working hard getting our music out there, trying to get listeners, and also trying to stick with what we got going on with the channel. Things have gone in different directions here and there, subject-wise and all that. We're doing what we can. This is certainly not the direction we intended to begin with for this channel. And as far as the music career, we started out without an actual plan, because the plans of our past, old days, right, growing up, had to change. So when we started releasing this recent music, there was no real plan. We didn't even know really if it was good enough. We just felt like it was decent, so we started releasing it. When I say we, I mean me and Whiskey. Together, we are the independent artists, right? There is nowhere else, nothing else going on to pull this along except what we are doing. Anyways, we're in quite a dilemma right now. Our mind's occupied with several different things. We're trying to figure out what we can do. We've been trying over here to figure out how to make it without, at the same time, without whatever they want to call it, trying to figure out how to make it, and of course monetize our efforts while offering all our content and everything we can available free, best we can, right? Unless you're buying merch, whatever. But the goal is to not be asking everybody to spend their money, especially in these times, right? And the system's turning against us big time everywhere, right? Every platform is introducing, currently, right now as we speak, introducing new rules. YouTube has come up with some new rules that is going to make it even harder on the small people. And all these platforms are coming up with rules, whether it be videos, shorts, social media, memes, music, all content, all platforms are, and it's under the guise of trying to beat out AI slop. That's what they're telling us, and it's not. I mean, it sounds all good enough, and they do everything to make it sound good, but it's nonsense. It's to make it harder on the people who don't want to sell out, is what it boils down to. And on anyone who stands on real good values, truth, morals, is to weed all that out. It's making it harder and harder. Somebody, as an example, this channel, with no money, to try to put out content that on some occasions is either entertainment or educational, and staying focused on the truth, right? They're making sure to make it as hard as possible to stay in the game and stay successful, right? Making sure of it. One thing, the system, the beast system, those in control of our government, of society, can't stand is people like me, right? We'll get through it, we'll survive, and we'll still be right here. And you won't forget it, right? Try to starve us out, stomp us out, whatever you do. Some of us, until the day we die, we're still right here, right? We're warriors, survivors, and they can't stand that. So let's talk a little bit about what we got going on here. I'm in quite a dilemma. My life could change drastically. I'm not sure if I published the video or not, but I was talking about a few offers I had, a few things floating my way on the music side of things. And one of those has turned into a conversation with a major label, has now turned into pretty much an offer, right? And I'm real conflicted on it. What to do? There's people I know, and probably people watching, that would say, jump on it. The old me from a long time ago dreamed about it, right? Is that dog following me? Is that Whiskey? Whiskey's gonna try to eat me? He's going into hiding, Whiskey. He don't trust you. He don't trust you. I kind of don't blame him. Anyways, we're hung up on it. That's one of the things. Pretty important. That might be one of the biggest decisions of my life. And there's some people close to you. You mention it and they understand. And then there's others, they act like it's nothing, right? All day long, every day. What are you doing about your situation? What are you doing to improve your situation? What are you doing about things? What are you doing about things? Here's what I've been doing, right? And can't get the proper people to give a shit, right? Then just quit asking me about anything else if you can't support what I'm doing here with this, right? So then you tell them about it because you're conflicted, trying to figure out what to do. And, you can tell most of these people that know you personally really don't want you to do it, right? Something about you can't handle seeing people actually reach their goals and having real success, right? Is what it is. But, so I'm giving an offer, and this, when it comes to labels, this is the third offer. The other two were not really very big. They could have helped. Maybe it was the wrong thing. They were right here in America. This one's a pretty huge offer. I've talked to the person for a while, had to feel it out, make sure they weren't somebody trying to scam me, stuff like that. Verified it all, been in talks, and now it's come along to the point, and there's questions thrown at me like, where do you see yourself in the next few years, right? Of course, my answer is, well, and this is all about the music side of it, not the rest of anything else I've been doing, right? So that's all they're concerned about. So, there's many smart-ass ways I was going to answer it, but I decided to keep it all on track. And so, I was like, well, honestly, as an independent artist, because he was verifying I'm independent, own all my stuff, all this and that, right? And, so I'm like, doing it the way I'm doing, like all this right here. So anyways, keeping it realistic and because I told him, you know, I'm kind of shooting for staying independent when we were first talking, and that is, I'd rather stay independent anyways. Things have changed over the years, right? But so where do I see myself? So, you know, in all honesty, as an independent artist, in the next 2 to 3 years, if I could stay on track, I don't think it's unreasonable to say I would like to see myself with still making some good music and content as well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, right? And at least coming close to 1 million genuine listeners, right? To me, I'd feel good with that as independent, right? If I went label, well, I would expect way more than that. So, I mean, he's talking to me and trying to make sense to me. Oh, we could, you know, do good for each other and all this and that. And, you know, I agree to a point and understand that. But, you know, he's like, we could take you well beyond, you know, our efforts together. If we partner up, we could help you reach well beyond that 1 million by that time. And I understand that. That's the truth, right? I understand that. And at this rate right now that I'm going, I'm not sure I'll make it even close to the 1 million, right? It's not too much to ask for, but it is what it is, and the game is changing, and they're making it way harder, right? Harder for independent people. You got to sell your soul, and that's the goal. They've told us a long time ago, no matter what we're talking about, let's be clear, it don't matter what we're talking about, everything comes down to the same issues and who's in control, right? And they want you to sell your soul and control everything. You will own nothing and be happy. This is what they warned you, threatened you with, right? They, meaning the people at the top of the system, right? And then all the people they handle throughout the things, like the heads of labels and the heads of, you know, all these different things, your agents and all this and that. They are sold out to the system just as well. And I'm not saying they mean anything. Like, I'm not saying this guy is purposely trying to secretly get me to sell my soul. He's in the music business. He's trying to, but at the end of the day, he's going to have to, right? You sign up with a label. They pretty much own you now, control you, right? Things would be way different. There's a lot of things I'm not into these days, how the game has changed. Oh, making all kinds of shorts, making funky thumbnails, all this and that, just to get views, just to appease the system, to appease the algorithms that really don't favor you because you ain't paying anyways, right? So broke people, you're almost having your arm twisted to have to sign with a label or an agent, or, you know, depending on what you're involved in, right? My case would be like a label for music when it comes to the music. And, you know, then they may, well, you know, you're an artist channel. We don't want you talking about this and that. Let's focus on this, right? And I understand all that. And there's a lot of independent artists that aren't doing so bad that would love for this offer that's I've received, right? There's plenty struggling that would die for this offer, that have more attention than I got, right? That are making some money off their stuff already. And they would die to have this offer, right? And I'm on the fence about it. My biggest problem is I have a feeling I'm going to say no, turn it down, right? I don't know, something about I know where it leads, I guess, right? On one hand, this could be God answering prayers. Hey, here it is, now it's your turn, right? You've done well, all this, now it's, right? Or this could be the devil hearing your prayers, and this is the perfect time because he's tried your whole life to get you. And this may be the thing, because what people don't understand is that this is my lifelong dream. There is people close to me that know this. That's all I ever wanted, right? Well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Rock star. I want to do rock and roll. That's what I want to do. Oh, well, don't get your hopes up. They would, society would knock that down. What else do you want to do? And just in case. Well, nothing. I don't want to do nothing. Well, you're pretty good at fixing stuff. Don't you want to be a mechanic? Okay, I guess I'll study to be a mechanic. Right? Then you start meeting girls, whatever. Your life's plans change. You put your goals and dreams off for everybody else's lies. And at the end of the day, you end up your mid-40s with squat, because you put everybody else's dreams and goals before yours, and none of them cared about squat, right? They didn't even have no real plan, you find out. Meanwhile, you've let this whole time. Anyway, sorry about that. Running into some issues again where we're getting backed up on our footage. We're getting backed up on everything here. We had a single just drop. Wasn't any good. If you got a chance, check it out. Share it. Let it help other people hear it. That's how you can help us, right? Stay on track here, right? Because the goal would be to stay independent. But the way we're doing it right now and how it is, it's very rough over here to get anywhere. Right? There's independent artists that have plenty enough listeners, got some cash rolling in, and they're good enough off, and they want to get better, of course, right? And so they got their own struggles. Then you got those of us who have no money to put into it, down to our last everything. And it's a struggle. We say starving artists, we mean that for exactly what it is, right? But of course that started before this, thanks to our local government that, somebody I took care of and made sure never went hungry, suddenly was refusing to leave my house and watching me go hungry, right? Bringing scraps home to the dogs. Anyways, whatever. Let's get on with it. But yeah, that was empowered by our local government here. I've said enough about that in my videos. Let's stay on track. So the point is, you spend all your life putting everyone else first because you love them, right? And supposedly they love you. So you put all their wants and needs first. That's where you put your focus on. Put yourself second. Put yourself last, actually, right? Just to find out in the end that those very people were putting you last to anyways, right? So now here I am, once in my life, nothing really to hold me back. No excuse to say, I got to worry about this, what this person wants and what that person wants, right? To a point, I guess, right? The only thing is holding me back is God's will and whiskey, right? Because we got an irresistible offer right now. Once upon a time, growing up when this was my dream, yeah, back then people used to dream of getting hit with a label, right? picked up by a label. Hard enough then to do it. And now, it's all flooded. The industry's flooded. And that they would take notice is pretty cool, especially for someone like me, right? There's plenty others they could take notice, and not to say they haven't, right? But we're talking about a life-changing event for me, the way it is for me right now, the way I'm doing it. I don't have 2 pennies to rub together, literally, right? Okay, hold on, let's stay on honesty here. I have 10 to 20 pennies, 20 max, in my cup holder of my vehicle. And that's every penny I have to my name. So right here they're setting up, as you've seen, starting to get some stage stuff ready for tonight. They're doing the Battle of the Bands here in Defiance. And I was gonna, there's just more things I'm behind on. I was gonna try to get some people together and do the Battle of the Bands with a couple of my songs. And we was gonna enter that, but fell way behind on that, on everything, and trying to stay focused on the most important stuff. And we was gonna, because I know I got the one song that's gonna be coming out pretty soon. It'd be we'll be publishing it pretty soon, but next couple weeks, I suppose, right? But we was gonna use that, and that would have been the showstopper, guaranteed. And the winner of the Battle of the Bands, right? Whoever wins the Battle of the Bands gets to, the purpose of that, so it's a big event around here, so major, right? Battle of local bands. So the winner of that gets to play here in town, in the middle of town, during the Rib Fest as an opening act for the main act. And the song I had that's going to be coming out, it would have been perfect for it, and it would have we would have won that, and it most likely would have stole the show for the main act. But whatever, right? And it's not to cut down anything they got going on. They usually got good bands going on. But okay, so back to our issue here. You just consider that there are all these bands that's going to be playing tonight, and even the one that's the main act for the Rib Fest later, which I think is next month. Anyways, would love that tonight somebody from a label, from a major label, right? Not every label is like, oh, I'd like them to contact me, right? But they would love for a representative of one of these labels to be in the crowd and then come up to them at the end of their show and say, hey, really like what you see here, give us a call. We think we could work together, and right? They'd be so many of them. They want that moment, and I understand that, right? from when I was younger, way back in the day. You feel like that's the moment of success, right? Get caught up by that label, because we can get you well beyond 1 million viewers, right? Well beyond a million authentic listeners. We can take you places, and we're going to cash in on you, and we're going to own you, and every living, waking moment, you're going to be working your ass off for that, right? Anyways, that's what we got going on. We're stuck, and I'm struggling with this decision. And some people would be like, it shouldn't be a struggle at all, right? Once upon a time, I would have been like to this guy, I'm already at the airport waiting. But now I struggle with the decision. And, you know, I don't know which way we're gonna go. But right now, the way we're currently doing things, I don't know how long we'll make it. Right? It's not going the greatest. But I could sign up at the end of the month, be on a plane all the way across the ocean, and my life would change immediately, drastically, right? That's, no matter what, that's the truth. And I know this, they know this. Get me there is a for sure way, you know, so I know this. That means I'm gonna sign, so, or what, you know, because we're almost at a deal at the moment. If I get there and just decide, well, oh no, then I'm shit out of luck, find my way back all the way across the ocean, be stuck over there. Other issue I have is, what about whiskey? I made it clear to these guys in our conversations that whiskey's a part of the band. He's a part of the process, right? And it's not just me. I mean, we say it's just me, but it's not just me. It's me and whiskey, right? And he's been through every bit of this mess that I have been through. He's been there with me through it all. He's lost everything as well. And you can tell in him from how he acted before it all went down to how he acts now. He won't leave my side. Him and I go everywhere and do everything together at all times. On rare occasions, I might be away from him for maybe an hour or so, right? And that's the most. And that's rare. And the thing is, he's been through all that with me. It's been him and I. Where we go one, we go all. So, yeah, I made it clear to these guys that whiskey is part of the process, but we didn't talk about him traveling, right? Does this expenses paid include the expenses for whiskey, right? This is something I'm gonna throw on him, because I mean, maybe am I gonna let it go? Hey, I've put him off now, and not on purpose, but he's waiting on my answer. The main person I'm talking to. And the thing is, because growing up, right, that was a dream. And these guys, it's not just some label, it's a major label. It's way back in the day when these were all dreams, right? There was a time I would have been like, pictured myself with this label. This is one of the few. I always thought, yeah, that's who I would want to be with, right? I could go over there and record and tour. The studios used that some of my musical heroes came from, right? Recorded in and got their start in. I'd go be a part of all of that. So what's the problem, right? You know, so there's different issues. That's one. And number two is my own confidence level at the moment. It sucks. Hate to say it, right? But in my own self-value, self-worth, I don't feel worthy. That's one struggle. Some of these are minor and I can get over, right? Comes to whiskey, no, you know, because this turns into a thing that, okay, now we're all in agreement. You signed. Now it's time to get busy. And I could be stuck over there for who knows how long, working on new material, collaborating with some other people they have signed, right? Stuff like that. All the things it takes to make you somebody, to make you a hit. You know, so like I said, I'm not comfortable going that far away from, leaving whiskey that far from me. And I don't know if I know who I can trust to keep him safe and take him on his daily walks, all that stuff, right? A lot of work. It's a lot required out of somebody that you don't know when you could end up coming back. That's, you know, and I can't do that to him. He might think I done abandoned him like everyone else. So whatever, but that, I'm sure I could get them to include whiskey there on travels, right? But he could be back to eating the good dog food again, the expensive stuff I used to always get him. He could be back to that. Life would change for him as well, right? Life would change for both of us by the end of the month. All our current problems would be taken care of. Now, it don't mean all our problems go away, but all our current issues that we're battling right now would be all taken care of. And we'd be on our way. People, you know, then people who did you wrong would be wondering why they didn't believe in you the way you believed in them. All kinds of things. There's all kinds of benefits that would come from that, right? But there's also the downsides. Because one point that can't be overlooked is at some point you're signing your soul to the devil. Maybe not right away. At some point in this journey, that's where it comes to. And that's where it makes or break you, right? Once you turn it down. But the thing is, if you want to play big in the devil's playground, you're going to be major in his arena, he requires your soul. And that's probably my biggest holdup, right? And, you know, then another holdup is I'm not fond of flying anyways. I don't know if whiskey is. I doubt he is. How you feel about flying, whiskey? What do you think about flying? Oh, for a long time. A lot of hours on a plane, on a tube filled with a bunch of demons. It's a lot to weigh out, good and bad on everything. Like I said, at this very moment, even the independent artists that have chosen to stay independent, who struggle but are still making it, they might look at my whole situation and say, bro, you're probably better off signing up at this moment, right? That's the push you need. Deal with the rest later. But there's benefits and non-benefits either way. Plenty of them. Plenty of upsides on either and plenty of downsides. Well, more upsides on one direction, right? But like I said, I'd rather stay independent. And that's where you come in. That's where I need your help. To share this stuff, to share our music all over the place. Add us to your playlist. And be subscribed to us. And otherwise, pay attention to the things we got going on, and we'll throw out whatever we can, information, stuff like that, but whatever. You know, that's a real struggle. These are the struggles we're going to continue on with. That I wake up every day, I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Really, I can't put that into words. A lot of my I started doing these videos, and I was going to show the struggles you go through after they violate your rights. That way you would understand, that way the majority would understand how important the rights are, what little bit of violations, how they can majorly mess up your life. But a lot of that stuff I don't want to show. I'm not comfortable with it and all this and that, right? So we miss out on content. And, you know, I can make content, making the trip over there, that could add to it. The thing is, it's nothing but a real struggle every day, literally. I can't stand it every waking moment. And all that could be changed by the end of the month. But the question is, do I want to jump on the flight and make that change? I could be coming back, get over there, get real busy, a new album that I have waiting, and come back by spring, have enough money and influence to actually do something about Doug Engel. Of course, we know I won the election anyways, fair and square, right? I won that. It was rigged, and so technically I'd be running for a second term. Anyways, honestly, that's where we're at, and we're struggling with this choice right now. And I'm putting a lot of thought and consideration into it, and then try to figure out how this works out with whiskey. And how I will adjust to my life totally changing, right? Accepting that certain people will never be there again because they chose it that way. And that I could finally might be out of this place. We say that a lot, but you get homesick, right? That's the problem. I've always took pride in our community, loved our community. I would miss it, right? I go to visit West Virginia, and when I do that, you kind of feel a sense of home because I got roots there, right? But I don't think I would totally move there. It'd be cool, right? But you'd get homesick for where you're from. These are all my people, all this and that, right? And I take pride in all that. Love my community, would get homesick for it. And done plenty for the community. That's turned its back on me, right? I leave out of here at the end of the month, and you know, within a week, they don't remember me, and I'm nothing, right? Till you sign up, then suddenly you're somebody to them. That's where it's at. We're stuck and don't know what to do, where to go from here, how to decide. Struggle on like this and hope we make it, or surrender and enjoy the good times for a while, right? Success, whatever you want to call it. We're stuck in this dilemma, don't know which way to go, what to do. What would you do if it was you? Stay independent, sign away to a major label. You know, this is one of those moments that's quite an opportunity that a lot of people, like I said, would steal for, and some sell their souls for, right? It's one of those things that it's possible a different opportunity could still come along. Like a few have presented themselves to us. None stumped us like this. But it's also possible this opportunity will never come back again, right? And then we got our other things we're presented with. AI is making a big push, a big move, and now we're getting an offer to go that route because it's taken over. And there's another thing. Do I want to be halfway across the world while shit's hitting the fan? Everything's so unsure. I don't know. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We appreciate it very much. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep all of his commandments. For that is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. See ya.